Today I'm going to show you how to make apple butter. I have some apples that were past their prime, and to avoid food waste, I'm making apple butter. So let's get started. I have nutmeg, cinnamon, clove, allspice, salt, and a bit of apple cider vinegar. And I have two sugars. I have granulated sugar, white sugar, and I have a demerara, brown sugar, plus some water. Now you could substitute cider, but this is what I have on hand, and I'm just looking to help you not waste food. And we're going to pair this with my biscuit recipe, and it's going to be delicious. So it takes a bit of time. The first thing we want to do is actually get our apples into the pan. Now I have a mixture of Granny Smith and Pink Lady, which is what I had on hand. You can use any mixture of apples that you wish. I'm going to first grate some nutmeg over it. I love freshly grated nutmeg. That's probably a good quarter of a teaspoon if you are using already ground. If you can use whole nutmeg and grate it yourself, you'll be happy. So then I'm just going to add our cinnamon. That's about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, about a quarter teaspoon of clove. Same for the allspice. Do a pinch of salt. And this is just to help round off the flavor. Going to do our sugar. There's the white, the brown sugar. And what I'm going to do now is just use my hands and just toss that so the spices are mixed through. Now, optionally, you could add some lemon juice if you like. You'll notice I did not peel my apples. I simply cut and cored them up, as you can see. And this is just, it saves time. This is a long process in any event, so we want to save time if we can. So I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar. And then I'm just going to add some water, about a cup and a half of water. Now this is going to go onto a medium to medium-high flame until it comes up and starts to cook. And as it cooks, I'll lower that. So let's get it on the stove. Okay, I'll quickly take you through the ingredients for biscuits. I have flour, about a cup and a half, 200 grams. I've got a cup of buttermilk here. I'm probably not going to use all of it. Some I'll use to brush the top. But it just depends how much liquid your flour takes. I want it pretty shaggy. I've got butter. It's half a stick or 55 grams that's been cubed. I have salt, baking soda, baking powder, and a little extra flour for dusting, and of course our cutter. That's about just under 3 inches, 2 7/8, something like that. I think that's 3.5 millimeter diameter cutter, and a whisk. So get started. I'm just going to add to our flour the salt, our baking soda, our baking powder, and I'm just going to whisk that together quickly. It's really that simple to combine those dry ingredients. So to our dry ingredients, we'll add the cubed butter, and we're just going to rub that together with our fingers. I'm covering the cubed butter with the flour, so it's easier to handle. And then we're just going to use the tips of our fingers to pinch it all in, to work it into the flour. We want to be very careful. We don't want to overwork it. It's going to be fairly loose. We just want it distributed. Again, the tips of our fingers, we just want to sort of squeeze and rub that in. Couldn't be simpler. You don't want to overhandle it because, one, the heat from your fingers melts the butter. And we want these things cold. Cold bowl, cold flour, cold butter, cold milk. Everything is cold. So we just want to rub that in until it's distributed and it looks like a course meal. And we're going to pop these into a very hot oven, 220 Celsius, 425 Fahrenheit. And they'll bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Every oven's different, so we'll keep our eye on them. Okay. I think that's worked in enough to give me the consistency of meal that I'm after. What do you think? Is that pretty good? I think so. So to this, we're going to add our buttermilk. And I am just going to work that in with my hands. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of the liquid of the buttermilk because it's not quite as shaggy as I wanted. Going to dust our surface. And I'll turn out our biscuit dough. There. Now we're just going to pull it all together and start to shape it. And as I'm shaping it, I'm pulling it and I'm folding it and I'm just patting it down. So, get that off my fingers. Yeah. Actually looks pretty good. A little dusting on my hands. And again, we just take that, we fold it, and then we're going to just pat it out. We're not going to roll it. And the reason that we fold it is to give it lamination. So I'm going to just take our cutter, dip it in our flour, our bench flour, and cut out our first biscuits. And we don't twist, we just set it straight down and up because we want those edges. I'm putting them on a parchment lined baking tray and I don't want them touching. Sometimes you want them touching. The dough here is strong enough and isn't overly wet, so they will spread a bit, and I want to give them that space to do that. So I'll just finish cutting out the rest of our biscuits. So in that goes into our hot oven, 12 to 15 minutes. I'm going to brush these first with the buttermilk. I managed to get 7. And now I'm just going to brush the tops with some of the buttermilk, being careful not to let it run down the sides. Once these have all been brushed, pop them in our hot oven. And this will go great with our apple butter. So I'll put them in now. 2 hours have passed and we have our apple butter that we're now going to pass through a sieve. That's why we didn't worry about peeling them. Plus the peel actually adds pectin, which helps it to set. So we're just going to push that through a fine sieve. And then I'm not canning these because we're going to use this right away. But if you wanted to, you could can them, sterilize your jars, put them in water bath as you would normally. So let's get this pressed through this sieve. So I've switched from a spatula to this scraper because it just helps press that through a bit easier. You can see it's going to be beautiful, smooth apple butter. So I'll just finish doing this until it's all passed. I've nearly got most of the pulp pressed through until what I have left is really just dry cells and peel. So just scrape that off the bottom of our sieve, and you can have a look at the smoothness of our apple butter. And this is going to be wonderful on our biscuits. So let's get to those next. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Beautiful and brown, golden. And you can smell the you can smell the aroma of biscuits, you know? That smell that gets you up in the morning, ready to go. Well, all we need to do is to pick one. Oh, that's just beautiful. And we're going to, put some apple butter on it. Let me grab that. Biscuit. Oh, it splits beautifully. Get that on the plate, and I'm going to put a little butter on the top, on half of it, and I'll put our apple butter on the bottom. Okay, let's try it. That biscuit is so light and flaky. The apple butter, the spicing. Reminds me of being in the kitchen of my grandma Mamie, Mama Mamie. She made the best apple butter and some of the best biscuits around. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel, it's free, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single delicious recipe. And finally, please share this video with your friends and help build our community. Well, until next time, bye-bye. I'm definitely finishing this.